Hi, today I'm going to go through how to remove the side fairings, mid fairings, fuel tank, and ECU on a ZX-4RR. I've had a few friends buy these now, and they keep asking me questions on how to take it apart, what tools do they need. First thing everyone seems to do is get an air filter and flash the ECU. So this video is going to show you how to take apart the bike step by step. Putting it back together as a reverse removal. What I'll do first is just say it'd be best to put the bike on a rear stand or a front stand to hold it vertically, and then the tools you'll need to gather today are all right here. You're going to need a 4mm Allen wrench. You're going to need a 5mm Allen wrench. The T-handles are best, but you can use whatever you like. For the fuel tank, you're going to need another 5mm, but I like this long T-handle because it gives a lot of leverage. Those bolts are kind of tight. If you're using a little Allen key, it could get tough. Then you're going to need a small flat-bladed screwdriver, a Phillips head for the air box if you want to replace the air filter, and I'd recommend an electric screwdriver with an automatic clutch so that when you put the bolts screws back in, it automatically torques them to the perfect torque. So that's what you're going to need. I also recommend kind of like a parts organizer so you can figure out what bolts go where as we take this bike apart. So without further ado, let's get started on taking off the fairings for this ZX-4RR. First step is to get your key and remove your rear seat or the seat cowl, and then use this little pull tab right here, located right underneath. Pull that and remove your rider seat. So after you do that, the very next step you want to do is to start getting your flathead screwdriver, and we're going to remove some of the clips. And before I get started, I just want to show you guys my organization. To keep all the bolts and nuts you're going to take out, I like to use a little Harbor Freight parts organizer, and I write with a Sharpie where each thing goes. So we're going to start with the inner cowl and the belly pan. So let's go there first. This inner cowl is the black piece that goes inside here, and it's held on by 10 fasteners. The bottom ones you have to pry open with a little flathead, and the rest you just push in the middle and then pull them out. So you can see right here, just pop the center in and then pull the whole thing out. So you go ahead and you just take out all of the fasteners for this inner cowl, 10 in total, and then it just pops straight out. Come back over here, pry out this little plastic piece, then you just pop all of this stuff off. I used to think it was kind of cheap, but really it's lightweight and it works well, so, you know, who's to complain? Alright. One left there. There we go. That's the inner cowling. And then I'll grab these 10 fasteners and put them away in my little organizer. And then we'll go over to the belly pan. There we go, inner cowl. Now we're going to go over to the belly. Down at the bottom of the belly pan right here, there's 2 fasteners. One facing the front is another one of those plastic clips that you just kind of pry out, and it comes out right there. And then there's one underneath that you push in and pop out. Then that's it. The bottom of these lowers is disconnected. Next, you want to get a 5mm Allen, and this bolt right here, go ahead and take this out. Keep in mind all this is the same for the left and the right sides, so everything you see here on the left side will apply to the right side. The next bolt is right here, inside the hole that shows the frame poking out. Just go ahead and take out this little Allen that holds the bracket onto the frame. Sometimes I drop this one, which is okay, but there it is. And then next, you've got one more bolt right here. See it? This little silver one? You want to come in and take that one out. Again, that's a 4mm Allen. So once you take that out, then you put that all away in the side fairings, and then inside here is the turn signal plug. Just unplug that and you're ready to go. Now you've got this side fairing just kind of hanging. It's only held on by 2 more clips here. These little plastic rivets. Go ahead, push them in, remove them, and then once you do that, then the side fairing is ready to be removed. And all you do to remove it, you just grab it and you pull. And you'll notice 2 little kind of friction fit barbs that go into these rubber grommets. So that's it. Side fairing is off. Now we got to go to the mid fairing. The mid fairing is held on by 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one is right here. It's a little bracket that goes from this piece to the frame. So you want to remove those and keep track of what goes where, because they're not all the same. Some of them have little plastic washers. Just keep track. Be a good steward of your vehicle, and be very careful when threading them in or out, because it's easy to cross thread, and just keep track of what goes where. So, you know, you see a little short one goes into that piece, and then this one over here by the tank is black, and you're going to remove that one next. Speed things up a little bit. There we go. And then you've got this big one here that has a big old kind of washer collar, little shouldered washer, you'll see. But you want to keep track of that and make sure you put the right parts in the right place. Okay, and now all that's left is these two, and these two are the ones with the small plastic washers. Don't lose those, they protect your bodywork. See this right here? You got a little plastic washer on this one. It's not the end of the world if you lose it, but you know, it's nice to keep these vehicles all intact. This one's a little tricky. Because I'm in the front stand here, I can't move my handlebars, but that's okay. It fits perfect. And you'll see I just go ahead and unscrew that one. And once we get this one off, that's it. The mid fairings will be ready to come off. There we go. Another plastic washer. Organize all my parts. And now we've got the mid fairing, all the bolts removed. And you see I just kind of pull. It's got a friction fit grommets all over the place. So you just pop it off. That's it. So you'll see you have 2 grommets back here. They both go into the fuel tank. Okay. It's common for these to get jumbled up if you push them in. You want to lubricate these before you put it back so it's easy to pop in. And that's it. So one more, sorry, in the tail section here. So here's the 3 grommets for the mid fairing with the pressure fit barbs. Okay. So that's the left side. You're going to want to do the same thing for the right side if you want to take them off. But at this point, you're going to have access to the fuel tank bits that you want to get to so you can remove the fuel tank. So you'll see the evap canister comes to the front port, and then this part is just a drain that comes all the way down to the bottom of the bike right here. All right, so the next step is just unhook these ports, and you can squeeze these little locks, squeeze them a little bit, and they just pull right off. There you go. And don't forget, the blue goes to the evap. The back one is the drain that comes out the bottom of the bike. So once you do that, then you're all set to take the tank off. All right, the tank has 4 5mm head Allen bolts holding it together. So you want to pop this other mid fairing off. You can remove it all the way, but I cheat. I don't take it all the way off. And now you want to take off these 4 little Allen bolts that hold the fuel tank on. Now these from the factory are very tight, so don't turn them slow. It's best to use kind of an impact force. They've never been out. They can be very hard to get out, and they can strip. A big T-handle like this with an Allen bit on a socket works very good for breaking them loose. A small Allen key, not so much. So you go ahead and take out all 4 of these, and we'll put these in the fuel tank. And one more to go here. Okay, now that we've got that out, we got to go ahead and unplug some of the connections to the fuel tank. Okay, the next step here is you see this little plug? You want to unplug that. You have to pry the little tab away, and it helps to have a screwdriver. So you can see right here, just take a screwdriver, you pull it out, and then this pulls straight out. So it's got a little tab, you pull towards the outboard side, and then this unplugs. Next, you want to make sure these side fairings are out of the grommets of the fuel tank. There's two of them. Remember, you've got these two. I elected not to take off the mid fairings or the side fairing on the other side. But if you want to do it right, take it all off and then you won't have to worry about this. But now at this point, with this off, the next thing you're going to do is come under here with a flat bladed screwdriver and you need to unhook the fuel line from the fuel tank. Alright, what I do is I lift up the fuel tank and you can see the fuel line underneath here. It's got a little brown clip. And what you're going to do is put your flathead underneath the brown clip and pry it upwards. Once you do that, I like to put a rag underneath to catch any extra fuel, and then you just pull the fuel line off. And it dribbles a little bit of gas. Now that you got the fuel line off, now you can just pull the tank straight back. And it pops right off. That's it. Now in my case, I've got this little electrical tide. So you got to take that off. But once you do that, fuel tank comes off. And then you are in business. So here's a better look at this piece which needs to be popped up. You just put it in from behind and you put a flathead through here and just pop this up. Once that lock is up, it allows you to pull it from the motorcycle fuel tank. Alright, then you're left with this. Depending on what you want to do, if you want to replace the ECU, all you do is unhook these connectors. We'll show you that next. Alright, to unhook these connectors, what you do is if you look right here, you'll see a little lock release. You just push this tab down and then that lock goes forward. Same thing right here, push this tab down. Now the ECU is undone. Don't start your bike. Make sure the key is off. You will get a check engine light if you start messing around with it and you don't have everything plugged in. But then the ECU just comes off and that's it. You've got the ECU. Let's say you want to change the air filter. All you do is just unhook this little bib, take note of how it's all together, and you move this bib back. And then now that you have this bib back, next you want to unhook this air temperature sensor right here. You got to push in on this tab and pull it out. Once you've done that, now all you have to do is remove all these Phillips screws. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 Phillips screws there. Once you remove those, the airbox lid comes off, and then you will be able to change the air filter. So that's it for today. This is how you take off the side, then the mid fairings, and the inner cowl on a ZX-4RR so that you can remove the fuel tank, remove the ECU, and then disassemble the airbox so that you can change the air filter. So I hope this proves useful for some folks out there. This bike is pretty easy to work on. Assembly is literally the reverse of disassembly. So just reverse everything you did and it all goes back together exactly the way it came apart. Anyway, if you enjoyed this and found it helpful, please like and subscribe. We'll be doing more tutorials in the future for the 4RR. Thanks.